In this video, we're going to review our prior class, which was an introduction to SQL. Well, the class prior to that, we actually did have our introduction to SQL. We are using SQL within SAS. So to use SQL within SAS, and this is a nice little segue to understanding more about SAS, where many things start with a proc. Proc stands for procedure. We start with procedure SQL. We end our procedure SQL a little bit differently than many other procedures. We end it with a quit. It's a better way to do it. So here we're going to see about sorting, filtering, and we are going to create a new variable and do some other fancy filtering. So let's start out here. So in our prior videos, we figured out how to create our library and how to import data. I'm assuming right now that you have created your library for this class and you've imported some data. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to sort the customer table by customer last name. Now, for us to take a quick look as to what this is all about, I'm going to go to my ITKM 549 library. I'm going to double click on the customer table. Well, again, this is now the real world where just taking a quick peek at the data isn't always going to cut it. That's why in SAS we can actually see that we have a total of 20 observations and 11 variables. We actually see that we have a customer first name, we have a customer last name. If for some reason, just hover over here and you will see the complete name if it's a little bit long. Remember, names do not have spaces in between. It's a little bit different than you would normally see in Excel. So, I am going to sort the data stored in the library ITKM 549 from the customer table. I am going to sort it using the command order by customer last name. So again, we start out with the proc SQL, we end it with a quit. We have our basic, what variables are we bringing in? We do this with the select statement. Note that this slash and star and then another slash and star, this is a comment, so what variables we want. This is how we do the select statement. Now, I haven't selected a variable or variables. I've selected with the star, I have selected everything that's in that table. So I put the comment here, selecting everything with a star. I'm selecting all the variables from this table, from the customer table. I am ordering by customer last name. Let's highlight the syntax that we want to execute, hit the running man, and we are able to see our data. Let's take a look at customer last name. B, C, D, D, G, I. Well, it's sorted by customer last name. It's very important to always take a quick look at your log. The more you work with SAS, the more important the log will be to you. I have no errors. I have no warnings. It doesn't end there. Okay? Why doesn't it end there? Because I want to take a quick look at what happened. Okay? Many of these things you won't exactly understand, but as you get into more complex syntax, you will find more information that's going to be useful to you. Let's go back to our code. Now I'm going to sort by descending order. In essence, I just copied the code that is here from line 2 to line 8. I copied it from line 11 to line 17. The only thing I needed to do to make a descending order by last name is add DESC after the variable that I want in descending order. Let's execute. And again, we start with T and we get all the way down to the B. Perfect. Take a look at our log. No errors, no warnings. The notes, not too useful yet, but you'll see that they will become very useful. Let's go now to our code. And now we want to filter. We want all the customers from the state of New York. So, as we said in class, we should take a quick look at our data and really understand that New York is spelled with a capital N and a capital Y. In class, we actually first executed this with lowercase n and lowercase y, which I will do right now. And it's important to see that our results have nothing. There is no customers from the state of lowercase n, lowercase y. However, if I look at my log, I have no errors and I have no warnings. SAS did what it was told to do. However, it's not the result that we want. Let's just take a quick look at our log, and it says no rows selected. So this is where we have no errors, no warnings. However, the log did tell us some important information. No rows were selected. Again, I've changed it to capital N, capital Y. I will execute. And I have all the customer states are from New York. Take a look at my code. Take a look at my log. And here we have it. Okay? Nothing much to report. But again, no errors, no warnings. Now, let's filter and select and sort. So, again, the first part is selecting. I want customer first name and customer last name. I'm taking it from the ITKM 549 customer table. So library ITKM 549, the table is customer. Where, my filtering clause is the where. The state is New York. And I'm ordering by customer last name in descending order. So now we have combined things. Please note, you cannot start with your from statement. You need to start with your select statement. After the select statement comes a from statement. If you're going to use a where clause, then the where clause. And if there is going to be an order, after the where clause, you would put the order. It will not work like this. If you don't believe me, let's execute. Oh, 2 errors, 3 notes. Take a look at our errors. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to understand what it's trying to do, but let's take a look at our code again. Let's redo what we had done, or rather undo what we did. Execute. Again, customer first name, customer last name. They are all from New York. We know that from before that our code works when filtering. Let's take a look at our log. No errors, no warnings. So, back to our code. Let's ask the question, how many employees have customers? Well, first thing that we need to do is that if we look at our table, we understand that we have customers, but here's the employee associated with the customer. We can quickly observe that the employee number 7 has 2 customers. Maybe if the data were a lot bigger, 7 would reappear somewhere else with a different customer. We don't know. We just want to know how many employees have customers. This is going to take a little bit of finessing. So first I'm going to select the customer employee owner ID from that table. And here we have it. And we can see that we do have duplicates. Okay? Actually, look at customer owner ID 2, 2, and 2 reappeared here and here. So that means that if this data were millions and millions of records, the so-called eyeballing would not do. So let's do this with code. I can do something else. I can just select the customer employee owner ID, and I can deduplicate it by using the select distinct. Now, this is all good, but it hasn't really answered the question, how many employees have customers? It gave us a list of employee IDs that are associated with customers because we got it from the customer table. So to do this, we have to do something a little bit different. We are going to select, and then we're going to count distinct customer employee owner ID. Let's run this. And the answer is 9. We have 9 employees with customer ID. We have 9 employees with customers, associated with customers. Now, let's move on, and let's say I want to filter where the cities start with the letter C. So if I take a quick look at my cities, I see we have Cupertino, we have Chicago, maybe there's some more there. So let's take a quick look. I am going to select customer city, and I'm going to create this new variable, which is just going to contain the first letter of the city. So I am going to use the function substring. String is a list of characters all stuck together. I'm going to substring the variable customer city. I'm going to start at position 1, that means the first character, and I'm only going to take one character. I'm taking it from the customer table, and I'm going to say where, again, the substring of customer city 1, 1 is equal to C. So here we have Chicago, Cold Spring Harbor, and Cupertino. We can see that first letter, what the substring function does. It took the first letter. But the reality is that we don't need to bring that variable in, that variable that we created. And again, we named it first letter. This is as first letter. We can name it anything we like. So again, just taking out this leaves us with this code over here. We run this, and we actually counted 3 cities. Let's take a look at that code. We said count distinct customer city as this cities. So that gave us the count. Now, if we just wanted the names, again, I didn't need all that code. We could simply just do this, where I'm saying select distinct customer city from itkm549.customer, the customer table, where substring customer city starting at the first position for only one position is equal to capital C. And here we have our list of cities. Take a quick look at our log. No errors, no warnings. We're good. Let's save this. And this was our first official class on SQL.